in this video, I'm going to outline 3 strategies you guys can implement to build a leaner, more muscular, high-performance machine. 2 of the strategies are going to be nutritional, and 1 will be directly related to ab training, which I think will be really helpful. Stick around to the end. We'll put it all into one actionable plan that you guys can implement for yourselves. So was my thumbnail clickbait? Can you really eat more and get leaner and build a better physique? Well, I don't do clickbait, so the answer is yes, you can. And let's start out with a little thought experiment. Imagine that you're a car. In scenario A, you're a 4-cylinder Toyota Prius. In scenario B, you're an 8-cylinder V8 Dodge Charger Hellcat. Which one burns through more fuel? Which one performs better? And which one's more fun to drive? Obviously, the Hellcat's winning all those categories. And why is that? It's because the Hellcat has a bigger, more powerful engine. And that's the same thing that we want to think about when we're trying to rebuild ourselves. We want to build the most powerful engine possible. Now, the problem with dieting and extreme calorie deficits is that what you accomplish is you decrease the size of your engine. You're losing muscle, you're dragging your metabolism down into the dumps, your performance suffers, and you suffer psychologically because it's difficult to maintain that life. So the solution to this dilemma lies in a strategy called high energy flux. What this basically means is we increase the amount of energy coming in, so the amount of food that we're eating, but we also increase the amount of energy going out. So we can do another thought experiment where we picture 2 people. Person A is consuming 2,000 calories per day, and he's also burning 2,000 calories per day. So he's at energy balance. Person B is consuming 3,500 calories per day, but he's also burning 3,500 calories a day. Now you would think that the outcome of those 2 scenarios would be equivalent. They're both at balance, they're both gonna stay right where they're at. But that's not what actually happens. The person who's consuming 3,500 and burning 3,500 is gonna turn out to be leaner, he's gonna perform better, he's gonna have more muscle on his body, and the outcome is gonna be much better for that person with the higher flux. Now, before you get to thinking this is bro science, it's not. Not only have I seen this through experience with myself and a lot of clients over the years, but it's backed up by research too. Now, to actually implement this, we don't want to just go and add 1,000 calories to our diet right out of the gate. Instead, what you want to do is gradually increase week over week. So 100 to 200 calories each week, increasing up to your target level of energy intake. At the same time, we're also going to increase our energy output gradually week over week. To accomplish that, there's a few strategies we can implement. 1, we can implement things like rucking, hiking, and just increased general activity like that. The second way is to take advantage of something known as NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That basically refers to energy expenditure outside of your formal exercise and gym activity. That includes things like taking the stairs, standing instead of sitting, and most importantly, walking. Tracking your steps, getting 10 to 15,000 steps per day is the #1 way to increase NEAT and energy expenditure daily. Now, some of my clients in the past have found creative ways to increase NEAT. My client Ryan lost over 100 pounds with me over a course of like 8 to 9 months. And one of the interesting things he did was every night in the evening for about 45 minutes, he played Nintendo Wii Sports, which surprisingly burns quite a few calories. He was burning 300 to 500 calories in less than an hour of playing Nintendo Wii. So that, coupled with gradually increasing his calories on a modified carnivore style diet, really had him shedding fat, looking pretty good. So the point is, you can be creative with this stuff and increasing NEAT and net energy expenditure. Find activities you like to do, Nintendo Wii, going for walks, hikes, whatever it is, something that keeps you moving and increases energy output will work. Now, it's important to note that high energy flux doesn't give you a license to just eat a bunch of garbage and eat as much as you want. Part of the benefit of increasing flux is obviously an improved metabolic rate, but also improved nutrient partitioning in the way that your body uses food. So you want to eat nutrient-dense food. Eat as much quality whole food sources as you can as you gradually creep up your calories. Now, there's a ton of benefit to implementing this strategy. Psychologically, it's much easier to deal with. Your quality of life is going to be better. It's sustainable and it'll keep you performing at your highest level. You'll actually be able to build muscle while burning fat. I know that sounds like bro science, but it's been shown to be true, and this is really the only way that you can accomplish that. So moving on to our second strategy, we're just gonna talk about something called calorie or carb cycling. Now, while overall energy intake and output daily is gonna be king as far as getting leaner, building muscle, etc., timing does matter. I don't really care what any of the science nerds say about this stuff. I've seen this in practice too many times. Nutrient timing does matter. There's a quote I really like from John Welborn from Power Athlete, and he just says, earn your carbs. So calorie and carb cycling isn't something complicated. It's really simple, and all it means is on a really hard training day, like you're doing a really hard leg day, that's a day where I probably want to increase my overall calories and carbohydrate intake, especially around the time of the training. On the weekend, when you're chilling, watching Netflix with your girl, that might be a day where you want to drop that a little bit lower because you might not need it. So a practical application of this on a day where I know I've got a really hard training session ahead, I might eat 400 or 500 calories more, and I might include an extra 80 to 100 grams of carbohydrate on that day. On the weekend, when I'm binge watching the newest season of Cobra Kai,
Go ahead!
I might eat 400 or 500 calories less and rely a little bit less on carbohydrate that day. All right, before we move on to the third strategy and talk about direct ab training and putting this all into an actionable plan, if you guys are finding this helpful, it helps me out a lot if you subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, maybe drop a comment. I'm a small channel. I'm competing with a bunch of these big dogs at the top. While I do feel like I have a ton of valuable content to put out, it's hard to reach people without a ton of subscribers. So I appreciate you guys being here and subscribing to the channel. The problem with the way that most people attack their abs is they do hundreds or thousands of regular meaningless reps, crunches and stuff like that. Now you wouldn't take a 1 pound book and do 1,000 curls with it to try to build your biceps, right? 1001, 1002. Think and Grow Rich, great book. You have to treat your abs the same way you treat any other muscle group in the body. They need progressive overload. That means choosing exercises for the abs that can be progressed. Now, generally that means variations that you can add weight to, but if you're just starting out, simple crunch variations can work if you gradually increase the amount of reps you're doing and then work your way up to weighted versions of ab training. Now I know everyone says abs are made in the kitchen, but they're also made in the gym. They're a muscle like every other muscle. They can grow. So a couple of my favorite variations to train the abs are hanging knee raises, med ball or plate crunches, and one of my favorites, kettlebell get up sit-ups. You can add a resistance component to all of those variations. You can gradually get stronger on them over time and actually build some strong abs. That said, I'm not necessarily against doing crunches, but doing thousands of them all the time, your body's gonna get used to that. There's no progressive overload. You're probably not gonna be doing a whole lot, but burning calories, which as far as high energy flux goes, could be a good thing. So if you just love doing crunches, throw them in there. As promised, we said we were gonna put this into an actionable plan. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So the first thing you need to do is find your maintenance level of calories. You might already be there. It's just a matter of actually tracking what you're eating to see how many calories per day are maintaining your current body weight. Once you have a basic idea of your maintenance level of calories, you wanna gradually start bumping up your calories 100 to 200 calories per week. At the same time, we're also gonna increase daily activity by about the same amount. What that'll look like is probably something like increasing your daily steps by about 2,000 steps per day. Next, you're gonna wanna look ahead in your week and target which days are your highest intensity training days and plan on eating a little bit more around training time on that day. And you're gonna wanna find the days where you kind of have downtime, no training, a little bit less activity, and dial down a little bit on those days. Next, you're gonna wanna choose 2 or 3 ab training variations to implement into your training and do about 6 to 8 total sets per week. Those sets should start off very manageable, and your goal is to progress them week over week, adding reps, gradually getting stronger on those handful of ab variations. And lastly, and most importantly, is to monitor and track your progress. If you're tracking calories, keeping track of your activity, every week you should be taking your body weight, taking an assessment of how you feel and how you look, and then you want to analyze, assess, and tweak. That means look at your results, look at what kind of changes you might need to implement, and then execute. Hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, I'll toss another video up here you might be interested in. Thanks for watching. See you next time.